Lions fans, Lions fans, Lions fans. I don't know. Wow. I came across something that I didn't know about your beloved Lions. And all right. So with that being said, I was doing some thinking and about the shapement, the the molding, the I don't know what is actually even being called. The state that the Lions, as an organization as a whole, is where it's at, where it's headed. I guess I got so used to being optimistic or being premature in my optimism. Now I'm looking at them a little differently. And I say all that to say this that when I look at the Lions now, I look at them one way. I look at the Lions, of course, looking at them going forward. And in my prior videos, I would say that the Quinn Patricia era was actually going to win them a Super Bowl, and it actually would have if they was able to do what Brad Holmes was able to do this year with the Stafford deal. Let's say like if they was able to do it the previous year of of course that was the year they drafted Okuda. Who knows what the draft picks could have been like? And of course the average fan is like, well, we're done talking about them, and I get that. But the reason why I bring them up because I want to give them credit. They cleared out a lot of mess. So Brad Holmes, this, even go as far as the new owner, Miss Hamp. It has a clean slate from how her mother and father done it, from how Bob Quinn, let's say from Mayhew to Millen, from all the coaches, they have a clean slate. So somebody made a comment I read on somebody else's podcast about since Matthew Stafford got traded, is the Bobby Lane curse officially lifted off the Lions? Well, I would say the curse have always been how they orchestrated the team, how they done business with the team. It was never about the fans. It was always about business first. So the fans always came second. And so the average fan, I believe their devotion wasn't necessarily towards the Lion. I think it was towards the Lion by default because you stay here, you got to represent your city, your state, and all that good stuff. I get that, and that's the only team that's here you got to represent. So I get it. But I believe the average fan was a fan of being devoted to being a fan, and they had to put that somewhere, so they put it towards the Lions. And some have left the Lions with the other teams, and maybe the Ravens, the Steelers, the whoever, they went somewhere else. But for the ones that say so-called said that they diehard Lions fan, they have been devoted to the idea of being a fan first. Because the reason why I say that is not to tear down an individual what they put their devotion towards. But why I say that because how can you be a fan of something that doesn't doesn't prioritize you as a commodity? You could do all the PR spin, you could do all that stuff to make it look as though or make it sound as though that you care about the so-called fan, but it's PR spin. So I say all that to say that I say all that to say this: when Matthew Stafford asked for the trade, right? Now, of course, he didn't ask for it when Quinn and Patricia was here, which I would can you imagine if they say like when Miami came a calling for Matthew Stafford, or even when the Broncos came calling for Von Miller and whatever for Matthew Stafford, or when Miami was offering up two first, pretty much the same deal that you're getting from the Rams, you could have gotten from Miami. So, all right, and who knows with those two first rounders what they would have received last year? Who knows how the outcome of the team would have been? The players they would have been able to get up under Patricia, maybe they would have gotten um, Isaiah Simmons as well as Okuda. Maybe could have got also a quarterback in Tua. Who knows? But what I say, I want to say this: Matthew Stafford, I believe he's going to regret that he asked for it to leave. I think he acts, and it's like a bad timing type deal. Matthew Stafford is like, okay, I want out, right? So as he want out, there's a shifting, and it's not just one area of the franchise. This every area has a clean slate. Every area. So with that being said, if every area has a clean slate, um, it's up for grabs. What I guess the outcome of this team is up for grabs. What it can go, what it can do his first year. So when Matthew Stafford left, I'm going to equate that the same as when Grant Hill left the Pistons. When they did the sign and trade to Orlando, and of course they got back Ben Wallace and Chucky Atkins, and I don't know if they got any. I know they got a lot of caps. I don't know if it was cap space, but they had a clean piece of paper, right? So if they got a clean piece of paper with Ben Wallace, and we all know how that turned out. Do you honestly believe that Ben Wallace, not Ben Wallace, Grant Hill, kind of like regret that he left the year that it just about to turn the corner? And I look at the Jared Goff situation as the Jared Goff and the two first round draft pick as the Ben Wallace foundation. So pay attention to the details of how they're sculpturing this team. Brad Holmes is taking pages out of the Pistons book. He's not taking pages out of the Lions history. He's taking pages out of the Pistons catalog. He's going to how they was built. And it's not about players per se, as much as it's about an identity. And he's trying to establish an identity. So any player that doesn't fit his blueprint, what he thinks of the identity of the team going to go forward, they're not going to be here. So when you get a player like Matthew Stafford that says like, hey, I want out, it's a hard blow. It's like Grant Hill saying he went out of the Pistons. It's a hard blow. How do you replace Grant Hill? Now, if you were to tell me that you knew that Ben Wallace was going to turn into Ben Wallace when they traded Grant Hill, then Mike, I can't even, I don't even know what to say to you, but when that turned out the way that it did, and of course you get a championship and Grant Hill end up with nothing, I see Matthew Stafford in the exact same situation. Grant Hill went to Orlando with the possibility of playing with either Tim Duncan or Tracy McGrady, or no, forgive me, or both of them. The reason why Tim Duncan didn't sign there because Doc Rivers said that he didn't allow family or friends on the plane, the team plane. So that stopped Tim Duncan from going to Orlando. So Orlando was going to have Grant Hill, Tim Duncan, and Tracy McGrady on their team. You got to be kidding me with that. You got to be kidding me with that. So when I'm saying we saw how that fizzled, that fell apart, it was end up just Tracy McGrady because Grant Hill couldn't get healthy. So Matthew Stafford, I look at him the exact same way. He's going to a place that's warm, that's hot, and everything else with his, Grant Hill did that with his wife, with Tamia, and they, the whole Orlando thing, and I can see the exact same thing with Stafford going to LA, and being in the heat and everything else, and all the freedom away from Detroit, right? Detroit is the opposite of LA, as well as Detroit is the opposite of Orlando. So, but with that being said, uh, oh, forgive me for that. I got ads going through. But I say all that to say this is actually the this is what was that 99 2000 Pistons when they went on that run and then they end up with Rick Carlisle, right? Rick Carlisle. They let go of George Irvine, who was the interim head coach. I think they had just fired Alvin Gentry, and George Irvine was like the top assistant. He took over for the rest of that team, and I think it was like 32 and 50, if I'm not mistaken. And then Rick Carlisle came in, and the whole culture changed. So what am I saying? I'm saying Dan Campbell is that, and once again, I'm going to say this: they are running their defense is going to be a 3-4. It's going to be a replica of the Lions back in '91. It's going to be a mixture of the Lions. It's going to be a mixture of the Saints. You're going to see mixture of the Giants, the Cowboys, and you'll see the mixture of a lot of those '90 teams, those teams of the '90s, say it that way, and the Lions this year. I believe they're going to run the 3-4. That's my belief. And by them signing Brockers, that's like the Pudge Rodriguez, signing. Even though they didn't sign, they traded for Brockers. But you need that one guy that actually has to build off of. Like him and Golf, they've been in the Super Bowl. They have had success. You just need that one guy to build off of. It's gonna go to work, gonna be hard. Just go to work. The Ben Wallace guy, that Pudge Rodriguez guy, the one that's you know that's gonna play hard and you build off of that. The Lions is going in a good direction. I would not officially be a Lions fan until one thing happened. Until Miss Hamp addressed the league and according to the officiating. And I don't know if it's going to be publicized. I don't know what it is, but it will be for the legitimacy for the fans. I'm not a fan, and I won't be a fan until the ownership treats the fans as though they matter. If if you were if, until then, the average fan of the Lions is just a dollar. They're a dollar sign. You're nothing more, nothing less. If so, they wouldn't treat you the way they treat you. If they could allow officials to dictate a game or cost you games, and it's not just 1 year, this is years of it. If they don't stand up for you, then how where's their loyalty to you as a fan? So with that being said, I give the Lions. I said 8-8 before I knew that it was going to be 17 games. So I give them 8 and 9, and I see them with 2 first round picks this year. They're gonna have 2 next year and 2 whatever, but they're gonna climb. I don't know how they're gonna do it. They're gonna climb back in the first this year, and I see. I would love for it to be Panay um, Sewell, um, if they could climb up to get him, or of course you're talking about I think it's Rashawn Slater. If you can get him, Xavier Collins is a guy that sticks out to me. But there's another guy that I'm interested in. He's a receiver. I can't think of his name. I think his name is Quincy Roki. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correct or if I'm butchering his name altogether. Let me see here. But I think he played for Clemson, and I like him as a receiver. They can go after Jamar Chase. I heard great things about him. I see a lot. I heard a lot of you know a lot of excitement for Pitts. I don't see it in him. I don't see what people see in him. But the gentleman I was talking about, the receiver, is Yeah, Quincy, I think is Roche, and I believe I like him. And Patrick Jones is pretty good. The linebacker is pretty good. I like him too. No, 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 not Quincy Roche or Roche. Forgive me. I'm looking at Amari Rogers for Clemson. I believe that's the receiver that I'm looking at. Him and Patrick Jones, along with whatever you can get, climb back up in that first and get. I see them being very aggressive, as he stated. No, 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 no. Forgive me. I don't know if that was Weaver saying he's going to be aggressive, but I believe Brad Holmes is echoing the self same thing. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of this and bring this video to a close. But I say all that to say that Matthew Stafford is going to regret that he asked for a trade. He's going to actually, and I won't jump on board if they went to the Super Bowl, if they even won to the Super Bowl as a Lions fan. I won't jump on board. I will only jump on board as a Lions fan if the owner somehow make it known to the fans that this team will not be a pushover by the league. I don't know what deals is being done behind the scenes with between the league and the ownership. I don't know, but for this team to constantly get having games dictated one way or another, not by the hands of a player, but the hands of officiating and so forth, and then there's really no legitimate explanation about it in terms of it's costly and it to the fan. I don't understand how you guys can stomach it. They're ripping your heart out, and every time it's done, it puts an image or a stamp on this team that you could do whatever you want. And one more thing before I get out of here, for anybody that may be upset with Kenny Galladay not signing here, you should actually applaud that. You, I don't know, I don't know what it means to be a Lions fan to really be upset when a player has done everything in his power not to be here. Now, people were saying, well, under the Quinn administration, that regime, not administration, under their regime, that they should have signed Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay is clear he didn't want to be here, regardless who is in office, regardless who's the GM or whatever. He don't want to be here. Any player that want to be here, you got to look at it as well as look at it as the same as the officiating costing you wins as a player that want to be here or a player that's asking, demanding too much money for him to be on this team, whatever. The moves that they're making, they're with the little budget room that they have to make moves, actually brings a legitimacy of a team. All the professional teams in Detroit have built championships or contenders based upon that method. Within a little margin, they find an identity within that little wiggle room of salary. Maybe with the exception of the Red Wings, I don't know. Maybe even the Tigers. Probably, I don't know how much if they had a salary cap. Well, of course, when before the hockey had a salary cap, the Red Wings was getting players from that was winning from other players, and they made the super team, and of course, they won the Stanley Cup. But what I'm saying is that having a not that much room to spend, I don't think it's wise early on when you're actually setting up an identity. And until one position group has, or one side of the field has made a stamp of an identity, I don't believe is that you should invest any uh, a max amount of money at a high, a free agent or whatever until that happens. Unless you get, see it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna stand packed because I was going to bend with the whole Deshaun Watson deal, and but even with that, I would have to renege on the offer. It's like, for example, if the Texans called the Lions and said, "Hey, give us two first rounders and golf," and no, they probably would say three first rounders in golf. for it or something like that. But um, even if they did that, I wouldn't take it because I don't believe this team is not yet in position for him. I believe they are one draft away, and this whole season away. It allowed them to get a little bit more continuity, uh, see what you really have. Because what's the point of getting a high? Let's see. What's the point of making that huge of an investment if none of the other pieces fit together, even beside of Deshaun Watson being here? So with that being said, I say all that to say that this team is progressing forward, and I I'm a huge follower every year of the Lions in the off season to see how they do, see what they do. I'm a huge follower. And the whole Quinn and Patricia thing, I actually love what they did. In my opinion, didn't work out for multiple reasons. I don't believe Quinn and Patricia had the opportunity to finish the deal. However, what they was able to do, they got rid of if the fans can really just really take your I don't know take this Patricia Quinn bashing deal away. They got rid of mediocrity. They really did. They really got rid of all the mediocrity. The standard is changing. I just need the owner to make that next step. If she's making this into her baby, her and whatever, she's sculpturing it and her image and all that good stuff. I give her credit for that. I just need her to do one thing and go confront the league about it. Not the Lions. You can do it towards any other team. You can make bad calls, all that stuff, costly games. With the officiating, you can do that with any other team except for this team. And until she does that, I don't know if I can, because if she's okay with that, then she's not okay with the fans' heart being constantly being broken off of something that is out of the control of players. All right, Lions fans, I salute.